Eto na mga boss, kakapasok lang na balita. Grabe si Robin, nahuli na, naiyak si BP Sara. Dawit sa mga Duterte, sabay-sabay na tinanggal sila ni Padilla. Base sa impormasyong nakalap natin sa social media, haharangin daw ni Senator Robin Padilla ang impeachment. Pag umabot daw sa Senado ang impeachment ni Vice President Sara, pababagsakin lang daw ito ng minority. Lumusot man daw to sa Kongreso. Dehado kasi sila pagdating sa Senado, lamang daw doon ang mga kampi ni BP Sara, mas marami daw doon ng mga senador na Duterte. Pero binalaan ng mga prosecutor si Senator Robin Padilla na wala siya sa pelikula matapos sabihin siya daw kasi ang kokontra sa impeachment, kaya nagpakitang gilas na siya sa sesyon. Pinakita niya kung gaano siya kagaling kumontra. Kaya ito, sabay-sabay natin panoorin kung paano si Senator Robin, grabe, nahuli na, naiyak si Vice President Sara. Dawit sa mga Duterte, sabay-sabay na tinanggal sila ni Padilla. Pero bago tayo magpatuloy, baka pwedeng i-click nyo muna ang like, share, comment, subscribe at i-hit nyo na rin ang notification bell kung gusto nyo ng mga ganitong klase ng video para laging updated kayo sa mga susunod pa nating ibabalita. Kaya tara, panoorin na natin to.
Madam Chair, opo, pwede po bang makasingit lang ng sandali lang? Opo. Attorney Layog, ako po nananahimik sa aking opisina at nakikinig po sa inyo. Ako po napababa dito sapagkat nabanggit niyo po yung ating mga katutubo, yung aming pong mga indigenous people. Gusto ko lamang pong tanungin, bakit po ba parang hirap na hirap kayo pagka pinag-uusapan, nadadagdagan yung nakukuha ng mga katutubo doon sa mga lupa nilang incentives na madalas hindi pa nabibigay? Parang sabi niyo pa, tataas ang kuryente dahil lumihingi itong mga katutubo ng dagdag sa lupa nila yun, boss. Sasabi mo lang dito kanina, magbibigay kayo ng incentive dun sa mga maglalagay ng roof ng solar. Etong katutubo, hirap na hirap pa tayong tulungan yung katutubo natin, Atty. Layog.
Madam Chair, if I may respond to that. Actually, the Honorable Senator, hindi naman ho kami pumapalag sa pagbigay ng incentives, no?
Sabi nyo kasi kanina Sabi nyo, boss,
Tinaas po.
tataas ang kuryente pagka tinaas yung percentage. Alam niyo po ba sa pag-aaral namin dito, karamihan ng katutubo natin hindi pa nakukuha yung percentage na yan?
Yes, Madam Chair. Actually, again, we are not saying that they should not get their incentives, no, or their share. Ang amin lang po sinasabi kasi ang pagtaas to 5%. Bukod sa pagtaas po ng 2% government share. So, pataas na ho ng pataas, no? So, there must be a way where we can balance getting incentives and share of not just the LGUs but also the IPs na nakalagay naman po sa batas.
Yun nga po ang point sana, sir. Maganda po yung hearing po ninyo. Matiwasay akong nakikinig dahil ang gaganda po ng mga plano. Isa lang naman po ang hingin natin. Huwag naman po yung pangkatutubo, boss, naman ang ating sisisihin pa dito. Kawawang-kawawa na ho yung mga katutubo, sir. Lupa naman nila yan, kung saan nakatirik yung mga gusto nyong itirik. Alam nyo, sa totoo lang, 4 na taon na ako dito. Nasa akin po yung committee na yan. Ni 1% po, walang napupunta. Puro salita lang po tayo dito. Salita sa 2.5, 1%. Sasabihin, isisisi sa amin, wala naman yan dyan sa batas. Hindi naman yan nakalagay dyan sa IPRA. Sir, pakiusap lang po. Sana naman, magkaroon tayo ng puso doon sa mga taong nauna, sa mga sinaunang tao dito sa bayan natin. Hindi ko po kayo inaano, sir, ha? Ako po yung mapakaganda po ng presentasyon nyo. Sana lang po ma-rephrase natin minsan yung ating pananalita pagdating po sa mga katutubo. Dahil kung sino po dapat ang unang makinabang dito, sir, nakikiusap po ako. Bilang inyong kapatid, ay nakikiusap po ako kung sinong unang dapat makinabang dito sa lahat ng ito, yung mga katutubo, sir. Yun lamang po, sir. Wala naman po akong ano. Maraming salamat po, Chair.
Madam Chair, pandagdag lang sa sinasabi ni Senator Robin. Nakikita ko po yung kanyang posisyon. Kapag nabanggit po kasi yung tungkol sa mga katutubo at sasabihin natin ito yung makakadagdag doon sa konsumo, final consumption o final price na babayaran po ng ating mga kababayan. Kailangan po ma-explain nating mabuti na yung ibinayad, halimbawa sa lupa ng katutubo, gaano ba yung kanyang porsyento sa share ng total cost? Kasi halimbawa, ito po, para makaproduce tayo ng isang 1 kilowatt hour, napakarami pong cost factors yan eh. Pagka tiningnan mo po yung ibinayad nyo sa katutubo, 0.0001 lang naman yun eh. So hindi sa gaanong malaki at wag natin sa sigurong i-float o i-bloat na parang ito yung naging sanhi kung bakit ganong kataas. Alam natin na malit na bahagi yun eh. Kumbaga fixed cost yun eh. Na ang pinakamalaki pong konsumo, yun po yung mga variable cost. Na yan po yung ina-address natin, lalong-lalo na po sa mga malaking generation and distribution utilities. Siguro ang kanyang panig lang ay wag nating gagawin parang yun ang pinakabatayan na parang tataas. Alam niya at alam ko po hindi po yun. Sapagkat pag kinonsumo na, pag kinuwenta natin, maliit lang na talaga na fixed cost yun. Yun po ang kanyang palagay ko yung gusto niyang sabihin.
Meron po talaga kang strictly nakalagay na this JMC only applies if the existing application already has a building permit. Apparently, marami po sa mga kababayan natin nagpapa-install na lang ng solar without actually acquiring a building permit. Kasi na-raise na rin to with DPWH. Bakit nila nire-require ang building permits? It's because yung solar is ipapatong sa taas na bubong. And then they would have to consider the structural integrity of these are homes. People actually live here. So if something happens, babagsak. So that's why it's required for them to apply first for a building permit before they apply for a net metering application. What happens right now is old homes install solars and then wala pala silang mga building permits. So once nag-apply sila sa LGU, hahanapan sila, nasa na yung building permit ninyo. And because of that, akala nila hindi streamlined ang documents. It's because they will have, the LGU will require them more documents for them to apply for a building permit for their installation of the solar panels. And then syempre, pag the house is actually hindi sufficient yung integrity nila, this is all technical matters, di lalong hahaba na naman yung list of documents that they will need to submit in order to apply for the net metering. Kaya po siya tumatagal, ma'am. So that's one of the issues that we would like to clarify, na hindi talaga, as to the streamlined, these may permits talaga na ito lang po talaga ang list of documents na hihingin ni LGU. But apparently because there is a lack of a building permit prior to the installation of a solar panel, that yun, dumadami ang list of documents at hindi na nagrereklamo sila na ba't dami, ito lang yung ni-require sa MC in the first place. Yan, ma'am.
I appreciate that clarification. In this summary provided by my committee to me, and I read this earlier, it says LGU approvals within 3 working days. It introduces the deemed approved mechanism. This is the DOE circular in 2026. So I'm guessing this is what you're referring to, kasi it requires 3 days approval. But we all know that building permits don't take that quickly because you literally need the inspector from the LGU to check, and of course if you give it like on a Monday, you can't be assured that Tuesday mapupuntahan. So kung hindi pa kasama dito, kung kasama na dito sa 3 days yung building permit, baka hindi kaya. So can we get a comment from DOE, because this is your circular?
Ma'am, actually, ma'am, that circular or advisory that we issued that is in
This
answer.
January yata, but this year,
Actually,
2026, the DC 2026-01.
This is in an offshoot from the circular, ma'am. So it presupposes that they already have a building permit. So
Okay.
the other requirements that have several days is already that
Is
they
that clear from the circular? Because like even me, is it clear from the circular? that
Yes,
it
ma'am. The
presupposes that
circular
there's a
reads
building
that
permit?
the circular only applies to those who already have
Have
a
a
building
building
permit.
permit
Yes.
naman.
Yes,
Okay, but the impression with the public is natatagalan.
Yes,
That's why you're
ma'am.
clarifying.
Yes, ma'am.
Oo. Yeah, I understand. So maybe that can be clarified kasi napakasimple naman ang sinabi mo, madali naman intindihin, 'di ba? For safety naman din talaga.
That's
So,
also one of our comments is also for capacity building and information talaga. The public needs to know bakit kailangan ng building permit, bakit kailangan ang daming permit for, kasi lalo na with those with old structures. Napagawa ko na yung bahay, may building permit na ako for this, bakit kailangan ko ng
That's
another
exactly
permit?
what came to my
Yes.
mind because I'm not
Yes,
an
ma'am.
engineer na I don't know anything like, may building permit na yan, ano pa ba kailangan
Yes,
nyo?
exactly.
But I'm just curious, I understand when you say for the old structures, no? But is there a way to predetermine based on kunyari, every home built of concrete as of this date, alam na natin na structurally sound yan for solar? Because I don't even know how heavy it is, or it's really a case-to-case basis. I mean, I need a what kind of engineer to answer my question.
Madam Chair, sino ba ang acceptable na mag-i-inspect o mag-i-issue ng permit? Yung building official ba sa
Yeah.
municipality?
Yeah.
Yun lang, okay na yun.
Oh,
Ilan ba yung standard na weight ng isang solar panel? Kasi kung computed naman yun, kung alam nila, dapat madaling mag-issue eh. So titingnan niya yung load-bearing capacity ng bahay. Kung gawa lang ng sawali, hindi ka pwedeng maglagay ng yero dyan para maglagay. Hindi pwede. Alam ng building official, it should be madali dapat, di ba? Alam niya yung bigat ng panels. At ilan ba ilalagay? 10, 5, 3 lang. Di ba dapat na yun, standardized para alam kagad ng building official?
The solar panel to follow up yung point ni Senator Marcoleta, even the what do you call them, the distributors of solar panels would know na hindi naman niya pwedeng ibenta yan sa bahay na gawa sa NIPA. Although pwede naman itayo yun separately, di ba? Basta may tatamaan ng araw, no? So, I don't know, I'm just saying, baka may standards tayong madedevelop to expedite the process. Just, yun lang naman yung point natin, to expedite without compromising safety.
Yes, well, Madam Chair. Based on the consultation meetings that we conducted in the formulation of the memorandum circular, usually our building officials in the local government units, they have a presumption on the structural integrity of the structures within 15 years. So because the 15-year period is the liability of the contractors over the structure that they built. So after this 15-year period, the building officials are now more cautious in requiring building permit. So if the structure does not if is already beyond the 15-year period, then they may require a separate building permit just for the application of the net metering installation, because under this net metering joint memorandum circular, there is no more requirement for the building permit but only electrical permit. And then after the installation, the only permit that will be applied is the certificate of final electrical inspection, and that those permits will no longer be considered as an original permit but will be an ancillary permit to the building permit if they do not qualify to the caveat in this joint memorandum circular that they are existing structure with validly issued building permit. The legal basis of this provision is the National Building Code of the Philippines, which requires alteration in the structure for the building permit. So the installation of net metering is considered as an alteration which requires the building permit from the local government unit. So this is actually the compromise that we had with the DPWH and the Philippine Association of Building Officials when we conducted the consultation meetings, Madam Chair.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. I think if I may suggest, ma'am, the real cause of delay is the inspection. I mean, really, we cannot compromise safety, no? And everything is done through as-built plans. If there is an as-built plan of a certain house or a certain applicant, the real cause of delay, really, basing it from the feedback from the electric cooperatives, is the schedule of inspection, which we understand, no? Which we understand that in every LGU there are only limited inspectors, and hindi lang naman ito ang trabaho nila. So since, ma'am, this is a national project and this will redound to the benefit of the many, I think LGUs, if they can put priority and maybe assign one group just to attend to inspecting applicants for net metering. So there would be no cause of delay in the procurement of this necessary licenses. We fully understand the load bearing capacity. Everything should be validated, but the problem there is the scheduling of inspection. It will really take time. So since if there would be enough support from the LGU to propagate this national project, I think this will be solved, ma'am.
Sige, go
Madam
ahead,
Chair,
go
I
ahead.
think the contractor or the installer of PV system should be responsible in looking at the as-built plan and coordination with the building official, with the permits and so on and so forth. Para siya na yung titingin lang. Hindi naman niya, yung owner will always rely on the contractor
Yeah,
and
actually-
installer of the PV system.
Actually, Sen, that is the normal. The responsibility to procure licenses and permits will be to the account of the contractor.
Yes.
So it will all depend on kailan may inspect. Kaya siyempre ang building official, Sen, hindi sila pipirma hanggang hindi nila na-inspect, na-validate. So I think that's where the things are being stymied.
So paano natin ma-expedite yung mga building official, LGU, kayo naman ang ano, pagka PV system, dahil nga ito, batas na to, i-require nyo na silang madalian na ito. Yung ibang trabaho nyo, magsakripisyo ng konti, ito, bigyan nyo ng priority. Siguro pagka sinabihan nyo sila ng ganun, yung usual na delay ninyo, medyo
Yes,
bawasan
sir.
na ninyo.
Yes,
Pagka ang pinag-uusapan na installation ng mga solar panels, PV system in a building or in a home or in any facility, basta bigyan nyo ng priority. So pag sinabi nyo, within 3 days kailangan na-inspect yan, sa tingin ko naman,
Yes.
makikinig sila sa inyo.
Yes, and we're already working with ARTA with that in order to actually facilitate really the exact timeline where we can fully implement the same, sir. So we're working with that.
Ilan ba yung ano nila, madam? Kasi kung halimbawa mag-a-apply sa inyo, 10 kaagad, di naman yan kayang inspeksyonin ng 1 week lang yun. Mabusisi rin naman siguro. So, ilan ba usually po yung mga tao ninyo sa LGU na mag-i-inspect and kung halimbawa lahat po magiging interesado rito, baka yan mga inspector kulang kayo. So, problema din yun kung wala po kayong mga tao.
Sir, kasi to be totally honest, not all LGUs are capacitated the same way, considering some are actually not, they don't have their own building official. Some are just designated for that certain LGU. So, tumatawid si building official for that. Kaya, in that sense, it's also a question of financing and yun, again, it all boils down to we would need assistance as to financing if we would be providing them their separate plantilla position just to focus on this. So, yun po, sir.
Ganito Madam Chair, I think we can do this on a pay as we go along concept. Yung mga talagang LGUs naman na nakaririwasa, let's say first class municipalities, yun na muna yung unahin, second class. Pagkatapos hanggang sa nakikita natin, nakakapacitate na natin yung third class, fourth class, fifth class, and sixth class municipalities. Dadating din tayo doon eh. Pero unahin na natin yung more qualified, yung class A. Marami naman yan. Doon pa lamang eh, baka kompleto na yung plato ninyo, baka
Yes,
hindi na
sir.
kayo magkanda o gagarin. Basta
Yes.
kailangan, payagan nyo na yung opportunity na ma-undertake natin as soon as possible, starting from those municipalities that are capable to accept and absorb this development. Thank
And
you,
also,
Madam.
in addition po dun, ma'am, we also have a comment as to dun sa installing solar and the use of renewable energy in government offices because a bill also includes LGUs. In this case, our comment here would be that at least phased implementation and not total implementation agad when it comes to LGUs because again, we would have to consider the capacity of each LGU and even how the Sangguniang hall looks like and everything. I don't
Yes,
think
ma'am.
that
We will consider that seriously.
yes. Thank you very much. And that's all. Sen.
Let's move on. Let's try to move this along. We actually have a meeting, but I want to give everyone a chance to be heard today. So NGCP Attorney Lali Malyari And then please be ready, Meralco, and then Philippine Independent Power Producers. You have the floor, Attorney Lali.
Good afternoon, Your Honors. Very, very brief, Your Honor. We support the legislative bills that are in the agenda in today's hearing, as it is our mandate under our franchise that whenever required by the ERC, it is our duty to modify and improve the transmission system or facilities in such manner and to such extent as the progress in science and improvements in the electric power services may reasonably require. So we support, Your Honors.
Thank you. Thank you. Let's proceed with Meralco, Mr. Lawrence Fernandez.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good afternoon, Senator Marcoleta. Madam Chair, we support the objectives of Senate Bill 457. Meralco will undertake to help expedite the integration of the solar rooftops of any government establishments in the franchise area. We also support, in particular, the version of Senator Gatchalian on the amendment of the RE Act to streamline the net metering program to give the ERC the authority to determine the scope of the net metering program, also to streamline the process for permitting. Meralco has from the very start been supportive of the net metering program. Even before the rules were promulgated, we installed a pilot facility so that we can learn who the installers are, how a net metering facility works, how it's installed. So now we have more than 20,000 net metering installations in our franchise area, with the total capacity of more than 170 megawatts. And actually, even with the current 100 kilowatt limit for net metering, it has not stopped our customers from installing even larger rooftops. We have actually 370 megawatts of solar rooftops that are not part of the net metering program. So these are the larger commercial establishments. They have an average installation size of 700 kilowatts each. So even without the removal of the 100 kilowatt limit, nangyayari na po siya. So in all, there are more than 500 megawatts of registered solar rooftops in the Meralco franchise area. If we may suggest lang, ma'am, also to expedite the process, if the DOE can be authorized to coordinate with DTI to adopt technical standards for solar rooftop associated equipment. Kaya nung nabanggit ng DPWH, it will also help the DUs in evaluating net metering applications. Nakita namin na there is already a standard for inverters, for example, but there are installers who do not use those inverters that adopt the international standard. And also, ma'am, if the DOE can be authorized to adopt qualifications for installers. Ngayon nung nabanggit ni Senator Marcoleta, ordinarily it's the installer that will take care of permits. But I think the anecdotes from DILG shows that even the installers do not know, for example, that you need a building permit first for certain houses that are older than 15 years. So dapat installer na yun na malamang nangyari, the installer will tell the customer, hindi humihingi yung DILG ng permit. But the installer should have told the customer already that
Ito yung requirement.
yes.
Yeah. Understood.
So, and ang experience ko namin, an ICSC study has shown that about 1/3 of solar rooftops in the Meralco franchise area are what are called guerrilla installations. So hindi po to kumuha ng CFEI sa LGU. So walang inspection. According to their study, sabi nila they took satellite photos from Google Earth and they checked it against what's registered in the ERC database. Mas marami daw yung naka-install rather compared to what's registered. So given the streamlining, maybe we can the bill can also include a provision on how the industry can regularize those guerrilla installations.
Ngayon, kayo bilang Pilipino, ano ang masasabi nyo at reaksyon sa balitang ito? Mag-iwan kayo ng komento sa ibaba at atin niyang babasahin isa-isa.